turn it on. The recording. Yeah. So let's see. 1 sec. Need to as well turn down the volume a bit because it might get a bit annoying. So let's see. Let's try to think why he's going this way or why he wants to place the ops he's about to place, right? So he doesn't want to show around here at all. And he doesn't want to give Ember a free draw on the creeps, like free aggro from the creeps if he's staying on the high ground. I guess that's the main point. As well as, who do you think their position 4 is? It's probably like, yeah, this is going to be Tusk. So Tusk will be laying bottom, and he needs some vision to kind of deal with Tusk, to kind of see if he's going to gank him. It's a very important info, and he thinks about it like beforehand, and places this ops to kind of like secure if this Tusk is going to control the rune. So the info he needs to know beforehand a bit. And so that's why like he places this kind of ops. I think like the 2 reasons of that.
30 seconds to battle. The battle begins.
Try to help with the rune. There was too many people and there was no way with such a lineup to get the rune that rune. So he immediately starts pressuring him. So first of all, I just wanna give you this insight. He doesn't even bother lasting this creep because it's impossible against this Ember. He has 61 plus 8, 69 damage to last this creep with, plus shield as well. So instead of doing that, he just, keeps hitting him. He gets a bit lucky with second Acorn. That will hit the Ember, but overall it's not anything special. He just hits him, so this guy has to trade a lot of HP for this last hits. Also, he's like, so I just want to give you this insight. He doesn't just go away from the scripts after his shield is out, right? He throws the aggro back to the creeps, and as well as he's trying to last this range creep. Like he doesn't want to lose creeps because he knows he can last them easily, and he just keeps dragging aggro here and there, just to like give him a better creep equilibrium. Do you see that the lane right now is pushed into him, and he's staying at his high ground, while his wave is dead because he had double wave against one wave, like right here. This wave is not dead, which makes the lane push towards, and the other wave is still coming at him. So he has like the Ember has creep advantage, and so that it makes the lane push, and it makes you give like better equilibrium. And it makes you stay around the tower at your high ground instead of staying like here and being a bit vulnerable to Ember. He still keeps dragging the creeps, so just gonna give you this insight again. Keeps dragging the creeps from the tower, so tower doesn't attack the creeps. Tries to aggro the creeps back, so he still gets a better equilibrium. Doesn't happen in this exact part, but it's like it makes it so it buys enough time for him to get a better equilibrium. I think he also has these 2 iron branches, not only for the stats, but also for the second spell. I think he just keeps them. Gets a better creep equilibrium, and with this wave, just gonna give you this insight again. So we're gonna pause here a lot, but I just wanna explain everything that he's doing. As well as he got the bigger wave because he was dragging the creeps towards him to get the rune. And first of all, it makes you not lose any creeps that you drag, and it makes the lane push towards you again. Like these two things he achieves. And then the wave got so big that he can just drag the wave through the tower, and this wave here will die by this wave. And Ember has one less wave in the result.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can just like ask me them and we'll figure them out. You can see like Ember, yeah. You can see that Ember tries to go here, but he still like lost some creeps. While TOPSON like maybe lost 1 or 2 creeps, but didn't lose any XP. Just like very little things that give you the advantage. You can see that, well, he's getting 2 runes controlled on Ember. Like Ember's team, the runes controlled also got his bottle abused because like you kind of need to help your mid in this patch. Else, if your mid is too far behind, then there is nothing you can do. There is no way to come back. Like there is no small camp. He sees that his Marcy is coming from this angle, and he tries to push the lane, so the creeps will tank the tower for him. And then yeah, everything is history, kind of. Emperor doesn't have the wave. And so I think you can ask for people to abuse your bottle. If things on side lanes are going fine, I think it's okay. Like this guy will abuse his bottle right now, I'm pretty sure. But even if they don't abuse the bottle, you still have a way to refill the bottle by, you know, going for the runes, stuff like that. I think he just doesn't have like enough resources here, and so it's like a bit awkward. But overall, like, why are they doing this is like to secure the rune. Like he just came there to abuse his bottle and to secure the rune, but I think they got a bit over aggressive, and because like again he got the bottle on in the backpack, it wasn't that great like of a move for them. But if he had a bottle here, like out of his backpack, like let's say he got let's get back a bit. So if he got his branch out for this scenario and he gets his mana back, I think this is a kill. Because it's quite easy for them to kill him. Like he has enough mana to do every of his spell, and then like Ember just doesn't survive the ulti. He was so low in the end anyways, so. So right now there's there might be a choice for you. Well, there's still like minute 6 or game, but before you wanna TP somewhere, you wanna look at side lanes to kind of see where they are placed. Gonna see if your side lanes needs help. And so, for example, if by the end of your respawn time you see that there is a fight going bottom, you might want to TP there to just get some kills. And it's not going to be bad for you because you TP there with full resources and you might just get a lot of kills. In this case, it didn't happen because lanes are too far, as well as like there is a mid wave coming in, so it's okay to TP mid to keep farming. But generally that's a good rule to keep an eye on side lanes. If there is some fight going on, you might as well TP to get some kills. So there is one little thing that he's doing. So he scanned, then he tries to figure out which hero is staying here. Because he doesn't know. And now they find this Tusk. Just because of the scan. But it all comes from his reading of the map. So let's say Let's get back a bit. Even more back. Okay, so from here. So he sees a glimpse of Witch Doctor top. He knows that Witch Doctor is around top. He doesn't see Tusk anywhere. So it gives him a confidence that he might be somewhere around mid area. Because he's nowhere else. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering how come he knew to scan there. Yeah, it makes sense now.
So it's all into dynamics. It's not just, you know, just knew from the end. But he sees that Tusk is nowhere. Like, he doesn't see him anywhere else. And he makes an assumption that, okay, he might be around it. Well, his sub is playing around him. I guess you don't find this a lot in your bracket. But I guess this is a common sense. Like, your sub will eventually play around you. Because basically, like, let's say what happened here at minute 8 will happen at your bracket at minute 13, 14, right? It will happen, but like a bit further than this. Because when everyone gets levels, when everyone, like, you will not get as punished as before, as let's say he would get punished for moving somewhere. I guess the only thing here that you need to figure out is, like, he just, you know, he lingers around the fight. Like, if you remember us talking about this, he a bit lingers around the fight to kind of like see what's up, and he also has a haste to kind of figure out like what is going on, to kind of like stay around the fight and keep on going there. And so like, he can just get these 2 kills. But if he didn't stay around, if he wasn't in position, then it would have been so much worse for him, like for the Primal Beast that you know, that was TPing in. So he got 2 branches for the magic stick, which is fine. So the rune is spawning. They want to figure out the way to secure the runes. Ember got the bottom. He sees that. Has his Primal Beast figure out the runes for him, but Ember comes and cannot do much. The idea here would be like to get as much space from the enemies to secure the runes, but it just didn't happen, sadly. And as you can see, this guy has more levels than mid, and more net worth as well. Because I think mid is like the poorest score right now, so you have to do more with less net worth. Because offlane is farming, mid lane has no farm. Keeps TP mid because there is like a lot of action coming on, and they can also kill this mid hero. I think they just fucked up a bit, because I think if HOODWINK doesn't spend his spell like right now, it's going to be good. Because like he has a cooldown and he can just keep the stun, keep going like through the stun, right? So let's say like if he had a Akron shot, he could continue the stun here, and so it's like very important to understand this. But nonetheless, it was almost the kill, and next time it will probably happen. You need to think about it as, okay, we have 2 heroes with this amount of disables and this amount of damage. Do I feel we can kill this hero or not? Farms the safe camp for efficiency. Sees that, you know, every other support is at bottom area. Keeps an eye on that because he has a TP. And I think this is kind of a healthy smoke in a way, if you think about it, because he was running top and then he ran back, and you don't know where he is right now. He might be running top as well, so they're afraid, and they immediately smoke the bottom. So this is like kind of a fine smoke. And there is someone else showing on the lane, so this smoke is kind of unpredictable. Try to linger a bit. And you can see that at first they went for hard target. Like, I think this was possible because he had ulti, and then they just linger for the easiest target that they can get. Like, let's say they try to go for like they're not trying to chase this Tusk. Like, that's a hard kill, and he's also running away from them. So instead they go for an easy target, which is Witch Doctor. They just, like, you know, kill him. Tries to see if this Tusk is going further, so that's why he's not like immediately going to mid. He tries to see if he's like staying there, if he's trying to go from this angle right here, or he's going to go back to the triangle. He doesn't, but if he's not in that position, then he might not punish this Tusk for his mistake. Then you have a good ops. You can as well place this ops from that angle. And now they can make this tower kill possible. What happens next is might be an sorry.
Which ops? Sorry, I didn't see it.
The observe ward is here. You can also be the one to place this ops behind the tower. This is like just so this is an easy way to secure the tower. You place an ops behind it to kind of see what's happening behind, so enemies will not defend it. And then you can just easily take it, like without
the trees, right, where you don't have vision.
You can still do what?
They can still TP into the
yeah,
trees,
they can still
right?
TP here or here, but the thing is, like, if you're staying closer to this side, right? If you're staying closer to this side, it's less likable that they will TP here. First of all, because you might have vision here. And if they TP in these trees, they'll just get killed. You might as well just place it here and stay on one side. Like I think the rule for mid is more like just place like high ground vision. I think for Dire it's a bit easier. For Indy it's a bit easier to invade this area because they have two cliffs around, this and this. But overall, this is like you control one cliff, and then you take the tower from that side. So let's say you don't stay here where you don't have vision, you instead stay like closer to the side that you have vision on. And then you see what is happening on the map. So this Tusk is not there, Ember is respawning. It's all about like the gathering of information. So they see this Ember here, and then they have a decision. Do they want to go on him or not, right? I guess this wasn't the best way to go on him because they didn't see anyone else. Like they don't see anyone else except for the Tusk, and so they might still be very near. That's why it might not be like the biggest, the best engage ever. But nonetheless, they got the tower. I think after the tower, you can make a decision if you want to go or not. If you see that, I don't know, 3 heroes or more showing on other lanes, and this Ember just TPs in, and he's alone, then you can easily go for it. The interesting thing he goes is the Official Blade. I think it's due to how cheap it is, and I think he's also testing stuff out, to be honest. He also tries to go for Manta. Manta isn't bad there for multiple reasons. So, reason one why Manta is good is, you'll probably figured it out, is a way to dispel yourself from chains, right? Then second one is, if Doom would be jumping on you and casting Doom on you, you can use Manta, and his cast would be interrupted. So he would be,
Yeah.
you know, like raising his hand to doom you, and then if you just press it, press the manta, like he can no longer do that. And he also has to figure out which one is real. He might, if you control the illusions here or there, you might just, you know, fool him around. And I think that's like the logic about this build here. Also, it works fine with the disjoining the Brave King stun, or like making him, you know, waste time figuring out which one is real. So that's about it about this build. And the visual blade just easy stats. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm surprised he went for so many agility items, given that because Hoodwink naturally has terrible attack speed, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
I thought you wouldn't want to play into attack speed because that's his weakest. Like he just doesn't have attack speed. I thought we would like go for like damage.
I see. To kind of like benefit from Akon shot, right?
Yeah.
I think it's more about like him lingering in the fights and like, you know, striking when he's in safer position, and then gets that. That's like the reasons. So he would still like not shoot when he's in danger, but when he has a chance to commit and not be punished for that, he will be attacking, and that's like what makes it good. Well, it's not necessarily good, right? He might be just trying this out. This is like the thing to understand in pro games. Sometimes they just try to figure out what is the build for the hero. Yeah. So you just like testing things out, and sometimes you will see like Reden's Cloak or Dagon Tiny, Dagon Kotal. Right, they just testing things out. This is like the start of the patch, but you can see the benefits of the build even without testing it out, if you try to think about it. So I think what makes him stay around mid is that he doesn't want Ember to farm here, as well as you could see that although Ember has a lot less net worth, he has like a lot more levels, simply because he won some fights. he managed to kill some heroes. Like here, you see one hero's killed, one hero killed, and this streak is insane. Like streaks are more punishing right now, especially with the XP change. If you manage to break someone kill streak, you get a lot of money. So keep an eye on that. It's like more punishing to die with a kill streak. You don't have to necessarily like focus so much on it, but that's a good way of doing things. It's a good setup for him. So it's a good. I'll just break it down for you. So this Bristleback, even without his knowledge, right? He's initiating this fight simply because 4 people go on him. And then this guy follows up his initial initiation, which makes like Hoodwink to be able to, you know, go on other people. And then he's like, he can go from there. And if you're playing tanky hero, this might be a good way to give your team a better team fight. Is to just go in, if you know you will not die, to make enemies commit on you. And after that, you will be able to, you know, punish them. Like, make them commit on you, disengage, they will be out of position. Like, let's say, if you go back to this fight. So, safe position for enemy team, like if you think about it, is around their ops. If they're out of their ops, this is more of a middle ground here. They don't know where enemies are, like they don't know, like they have an idea, I guess, but overall they have no idea of where the enemies are. And so if they kill this bristle right here, like right here, it would be much safer for them. But because Bristle is so far away, it makes them commit so far. And so, like, although this is like, this looks good for them. Yeah, this looks good for them for a second, but then, like, it's a hard target. And for every of his teammates, of Bristle's teammates, it makes it so easy to fight. Like, HOODWINK has the position, then DP can just easily cast the Silence and can cast the Siphons. Then this Primal Beast can easily charge into for like 4 heroes. Just like insane if you think about it. 4 heroes charge. Then, yeah, for Marcy as well, like, she can TP to the tower, and yeah, it's from the decent gank, decent possible gank, it turned out to be like 1-3 trade. 1-2. She's like, and also their Doom is on cooldown, which is more important, right? It means, if you think about it, I think in one of your games, didn't we have some kind of like Void? I really don't remember. But the idea of it is, so Doom is strong, right? Doom is strong when what? When he has Doom. If Doom is on cooldown, and if his BKB is on cooldown, and at the same time you don't really have cooldowns, like this is like 45-second cooldown compared to Doom 145, you can just easily go on your enemies and they will not be able to respond to you. Like, they'll be so weak that they cannot fight, and it might be as well as they have less heroes in the fight. And so they just go in and make the kill on the wave, on the pushed wave. I wanna say, although this Ember might have spotted the Primal Beast, it was just not too easy for him to avoid this.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Destroying the essence of flame itself? Yeah, I'll take it.
And then it just goes from there, if you think about it. Like, it's always a consequence of not having the Doom, not being able to fight. But I guess they overstayed their welcome a bit. Like, they got too far into enemy safe zone. It was fine kill if it was here, right? But if it's here, it's then like the Marcy died for it. Got the sword out of their way.
All wrapped up for tea.
You can see they simply have not enough heroes right here. That's why this move doesn't work. This is also a good way to study things. Why this move didn't work, right? You're just watching your replay as well and thinking, okay, why this move didn't work? I have this spell. I know he doesn't have Doom. There is Ember on their side, and I have DP with the additional Silence. And the pro answer is, like, I think if he will be able to cast the Sharpshooter a bit earlier, that might be the kill. But overall, it's just like they have not enough heroes. Okay.
No worries.
So, let's think about it more. What did we stop on?
You said why that fight didn't work.
Yeah. So, okay. So again, it didn't work because, well, DP has not so much damage and not so much control. And she was like far away from the position that HOODWINK caught them. And although, I think if DP didn't die here, this might have been good because it brought a lot of heroes to this fight here. So let's say their 4 heroes are right here on the middle, and there is nothing to farm at the moment. There is literally nothing to farm. And although DP died, she's just level 7, and they're basically like got, you know, not so much gold for this kill, but it made them not farm at all. Like, only Witch Doctor got a lot of money for this kill. Everyone else got like 30 gold. which is like 1 creep.
Yeah.
And this guy also had to spend BKB. So it might be good to just bait your enemies for this kind of TPs. You just like fake go. You know you will not be able to kill them, but you're just going in, making them commit, making them TP, and then you're going away. And you already made them spend like some TPs. And that's very good. You just like, you need to figure out like a way to not overstay your welcome. And, well, so he stays around his position. That's not the thing I want to say. So he thinks about his teammates as well. So what Bristleback wants to do when he has abs? What do you think? What do you think he wants to do? He wants to go Roche. Like that's a bit of an easy one. And so they also spend their BKB on Doom. They spend like if they have their timings, they know that Doom is on cooldown still. They know that Wraithkin is not ready to fight. Ember, arguably, is not ready to fight as well. And even though they might know that they're going Roche, it might just not be able to defend. Like, they will not be able to defend it. Simply because, like, the Bristleback is strong, but they have no spells to defend it. And so it's like, this move set up the Roche. But if they die here, the Roche is delayed. But if they don't die here, the move easily set up the Roche. Because they can easily go Roche right now and take it without any of enemies coming here and delaying the Roche. Even with the additional kill of Witch Doctor. They were able to save the Hoodwink. It just keeps escalating from this. It keeps going. And now, immediately after that, they're just coming to enemy triangle. They have control of the map, and they want enemies to stay as close to their base as possible, so they don't farm anything. They see that, you know, Doom is too far out of position. They force his BKB, which is nice. I think if TOPSON saw that Bristleback was killed here, he would also stop the TP, because it's not worth it to lose your core to this. I guess in the end it was fine. Because he had Aegis and he could connect back. They also killed Doom. They made us sweat the BKB. It's not an enjoyable game for Doom. He doesn't have his Midas, he had to force the BKB to fight. So we're all just pretty bad. And you can see that, so let's just think back a little bit. He's again trying to figure out where they can kill heroes. And first of all, he sees that, well, he needs to control the rune, because if he doesn't control the rune, Ember gets to control the rune. And with his rune, he is able to make like some kills. And he goes to bottom because like the Dome might be an easy kill, because he might have he might not have BKB still. And if he still stays in this area, he might die. He doesn't go for this fight. He sees that, well, Primal Beast overcommitted. He also saw with his... like, so what I mean is, just if you look at the minimap, right here, they just make this kill happen, and then they just disappear from the map. From the minimap. Right. And that's why he starts running. He knows that they're smoked. He was able to read this simply because they just disappeared at the same time. And he had the ward here. But even if they don't disappear from this, like, you kinda need to understand that they just made this kill. And after this kill, they will go to this, like, closest target. And if you overstay your welcome here, you're dead. he knows that they might go into this direction or this direction, so he stays into Moscow direction around the trees to kind of reveal them if they keep going, or if they will not, then he'll simply, like, you know, be in safe position, and their smoke will eventually end, and they will be able to like simply overcome it, like the smoke, without, you know, losing more advantage. And for you, if you know that enemies are smoked, then you should just wait a bit. Oh, I might know another reason why he bought the Diffusion Blade. So this is like mana, right? This is just like a mana spell for Wraith King.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he just wants to drain his mana
Yeah,
before.
but Queen's attack speed is so slow though, even with all the edgy items. Like, you know, it seems like it won't burn through a lot still.
He would do what exactly? Sorry.
I say because Hoodwink's attack speed is so slow, even with all the agility items, so it seems like
Yeah.
he wouldn't burn a lot of mana.
Yeah. I agree. It's like the slowest in the game, I think. 2.0. It's very slow. I agree. He sees if he can get the rune. Doesn't. And because he doesn't have mana, he gets like more clarities out for himself. Again, he stays around safe position, just lingers around there to not get caught, to kind of bait out the enemies from their safe position, and that's what happened here. You see, they're trying to, like, he keeps lingering around the fight to kind of like figure out what to do next, to kind of see if enemies overcome it, and if they do, then he can use his spells. If they don't, however, he can just like still be safe. And because he keeps lingering around the fight, he keeps bringing attention to himself. And when he absolutely has nothing, he just goes back. Like, he has no way to do anything in the fight. Like, he has no mana. I think also Diffusion Blade makes you set up more. Like for your second spell. Which is a cool thing. He tried to go for that Ember. Didn't happen, sadly. But then again, like, they forced everything. It's not necessarily bad that he died here. You're just gonna say why, right? This is already like a bit risky fight. They're all respawning. Like, the Doom is respawning, the Wraith King is respawning, and it might be like pretty bad. I think if there is no Witch Doctor, they also make the Ember kill possible, but because Doom was able to respawn, was able to TP here, that's why they were able to turn this fight. So for you,
Vision.
what? Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying I think Vision played a big part in this fight also, right? Because they were taking a fight without any vision, while the opponent had high ground vision.
Well, because again, if you attack some heroes, like let's say if we project this situation to what happened here earlier, right, when they went on the bristleback. So if you think about it from their perspective, they see everyone. They see everyone, right? Because they keep attacking them. Even though they have no vision, like on the cliff, they can still see everyone. Because they keep attacking their heroes. And so for Doom, it's an easy initiation. And so that's why it was pretty bad for them in the end. And so I would say the biggest lesson from this, like, why was it not as good as it could be, is understanding like of the respawn timers, right? And if the respawn timer is going to on like to get slower and lower from the enemies, you might as well just go back, right? Because if you go back here, like you know, Witch Doctor will TP either here or on the post, and Doom will TP soon. Like, you already make him spend his BKB, and your heroes are about to respawn. No, you wanna kill this hero, but what can you do? If you just go back right here, like, again, thinking about what could have been in your game. If you go back around here, let's say you go back, you farm everything, you wait for your Bristle back. They have no spells, like, this Ember cannot fight right now. He has a cooldown on BKB. Then you would have maybe had a very good fight after that. If you just waited for your heroes, you would have a little bit of window. So when you see that enemies are respawning, back off a bit. If they TP somewhere else, like let's say if you see them on bottom tower, let's say, you could assume that they wasted their TP and they cannot be in this fight, and you can keep going. But if not, then just go back. It's safe. It's safe to go back. But overall, it made them spend their cooldowns as well, so it's not as bad as it could be. We see Wraithkin top. He cannot be top, so he pushes mid. And lingers if he can, he can still kill the Tusk. The Wraithkin got a bit out of position, he got killed for that. He skips mid, so enemies have to deal with this to kind of show. But because of this ward here, they see everyone bottom, and they don't want them to be at that position. So, so something interesting here. So you could see like why Manta what might be good,
Yeah.
right? But because of casks, then it was kind of bad. I think if either of the spells will not connect, HOODWINK will not die.
Right.
He wanted to, he also was coming to him so he could deny him, but overall, I think it's still good. Because you provoked the fight when they didn't have their core was still dead, right? And he couldn't connect here, anywhere here. Because if you fight here, then Wraithkin, let's say, with if he has dagger or not, he can just TP in, go in, stun someone, and that's a good fight for them. But if the fight is happening here, then there is nothing they can do. Like, this Wraithkin cannot connect. And so they just wasted their doom. They also, like, died with Tusk. And they can keep on going on them from this angle. And Bristle back. What the hell? Are you okay? No, it's just it's just stupid. Well, anyways, if you think about it, it was kind of good for them. Because they have no Doom and they cannot fight right now, right? They have no Doom, they have no BKBs on Doom, and they have a bit of window to kind of do whatever. And then, another thing they do is, again, they have a Roshan timer, and when Rosh is about to respawn, it might respawn like even earlier than this. If you see the timer, I think it was, well, it doesn't matter right now. But the thing is, if you know the timer, like let's say 23 something like 30, then you know that Roche might respawn from 26:30 to 29:30, and so you know this timer. Like you got it from the Aegis timer, and it's easy to kind of control it. But when you know that Roche is about to respawn, just play around Roche. Like, you set up the area to play around Roche. Like, you have more vision there, you ask your team to, if they can connect here and play around here. And since they have no cooldowns, like this guy has no doom, it's a lot harder for them to fight here. And so, even though that Hoodwink died, it still set up a good fight, good fight in the future, because they had to spend a big cooldown to kill this Hoodwink. So now, well, they see that their bottom is pushing, but doesn't really matter because no heroes is there. Gonna do it. And although like the Witch Doctor was kind of like trying to do something here, Hoodwink was ready to TP and clean them up, but didn't happen. And they can keep forcing the high ground. And Wraith King is also doing the same thing. He also tries to force the high ground, but because Hoodwink like already spent the TP, she cannot do anything. And they send their most useless hero to outpush the lane. Like Death Prophet has no ulti, and their only contribution to the fight is silence. So it's a lot harder. Like it's a lot harder for the enemies to fight here, because like they have like 4 good enough heroes to fight here still, regardless of DP being here or not. And when DP has a ulti, then someone else might just TP there to outpush, like let's say Marcy or Primal Beast, but I think Primal Beast is also like a big contribution to the fight, so might not be as good. But again, if they're sitting your high ground like this, and you have a way to TP somewhere in the trees here, or maybe even here, I think this is a good spot to TP and just caught them, then it's going to be good. And you tell your team to get back off from here, and if everything works, like your team goes back a bit, you TP in, catch this hero, everyone TPs, you kill like this Wraith King for example, and then you can keep going on them. And this Wraith King will die for like 70 seconds. And you have big window to just keep pushing. And that's how you prevent the split push from happening. Kind of. But if he would manage to force the TPs and go back, then like map resets and it's good for the enemy.
Yeah.
So you have to be like very careful about doing this. You have to be sure that you are not seen when you TP. You have to make sure that you're able to catch the guy, and then you should be able to like not get punished on this initial area of yours. The Bristleback got doomed. It's not as great of a fight right now. They had to like, I think they, again we get back a bit to kind of see what happened. I think they overcommit, like the Bristleback as well as Primal Beast. I guess I know why, like the Primal Beast got overcommitted, and then like Ember was zoning everyone else from the fight, and also they got Cask from the Lotus Orb, and then like because of the Doom he wasn't able to do anything, and now he's just dead. So that's why when you have Aegis, you just wanna, you know, siege and make enemies react to what you're doing. So if let's say the fight is happening right here, just think about it. We're going back, thinking why this fight went wrong. What went wrong with this fight? You're here. If you're here, then this is your safe zone. This is the zone where you can fight enemies without them having an advantage. This is their safe zone. Like I would say even all the high ground is their safe zone. Because it's a lot harder for you to fight here, because they can still buyback. Let's see how many buybacks they have. You can do it by pressing Alt and like in the replay, right? You're pressing Alt if you see this yellow thingy around them. You can also see it for your teammates as well in the game. Like let's say you just press Alt and you see like, okay, this guy has a golden thingy. It means he has a buyback. This guy has the buyback. This guy has the buyback. You check on it. Here as well, in the network thingy, this guy has the golden thing, means he has the buyback. This guy has the buyback. This guy. Like the 4 out of 10 people has the buyback. Let's just check. You see, golden thing. Yes. Just to make sure that I'm not lying to you or something.
Yeah.
So you're again thinking about what went wrong here, and because Bristleback overcommitted, they were able to kill him, and because of it, they were able to finish him off. And though they tried to save him, it just didn't happen. And because of that, this old siege that was initially very good because they were able to get the racks if they just continue sieging without overcommitting, it will be so good to just keep sieging, keep taking these racks. And they could, if they fight here and Bristleback loses his ages right here, then he has 4 of his teammates being able to help him. But if it's just here, then nobody can help him. Right? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, back to the game. 3 of your teammates being dead does not mean you cannot do anything. TOPSON understands this, and I think if he has enough vision here, like if he has detection, then this guy's dead. Why? Because he will lose all of his mana, and he also doesn't have a shard, so he might just die. And so, if, let's say this Wraith King just keeps staying here, and GP is here a bit earlier, so you just, again, you connect the dots, and he uses dust earlier. All of Wraith King teammates cannot connect, and this will kill. And it will mean this, they also cannot push, because Wraith King is their main pushing power, because of the skeletons, because of the Deso, yada yada. And, well, also this move was going to work, because if you see on the minimap, this dome is showing here. They also have 2 good wards that they can see if enemies are coming to this Wraith King, right? If they have more vision on the map, they might see more heroes, and so they have, like, potentially, even, like, they might not even be Witch Doctor, and if they perform the skill fast enough, then they just kill him and get away easily. And so for you, it's, again, connect the dots. Can they be here? Like, they definitely cannot be here. They cannot connect fast enough to this guy unless they have Boots of Travel, which they don't have, which you might be considering when doing this move. Like, if enemies have Boots of Travel, they might just be able to connect. And they also have a good vision here. And this all into dynamics. Like, if you think about it, they're so split, like they need to outpush the lanes, and so you can't get caught on this. And again, if well, they were, in the end they were able to kill the Wraith King because enemies were not able to connect. Like, if you look at this again, this Wraith King got a bit too far, and enemies were still, like, far away from them. He just joined the stun and burned his mana, so he couldn't do anything. He was also almost able to make the kill on Tusk. Well, everything else after the Wraith King kill is just a bit of overkill. Like, if he managed to get this kill, it's all good. Like, it's very good. But if not, then Wraith King kill is just good enough to just go back, you know. Either TP out or just easily just go back like this route right here, or just go into the trees and TP out. Because Wraith King is dead, and now when you respawn, all your heroes respawn, you have a good window of time to stop the next fight that you wanna go for, right? But because right now this kill, like, kinda doesn't matter, yes. But maybe if your teammates are able to make the kill happen somewhere, then it's still good. Like, the Tusk overstayed his welcome here, like he overcommitted. Again, the mid lane. They were able to kill him. And so they have a window of time right now to kind of go and think about it. Like, what they want to do next. They either set up the next fight or push the lanes or yada yada. It's harder for them to fight. And it just, like, you know, it's all coming together. What do you want to do next? But because they were able to make the kill out of Bristleback, now it's like, you know, now they are at it. Like, it all changes everything. We're not able to get the Ember kill, but they were able to get the Brave King kill. And it's all like got back. Now they have the leading. They have the leading to do something. And the Bristleback will respawn. He will have time to, you know, TP somewhere. Maybe get Roche. Roche is about to respawn in 45 seconds. To get the Roche, or at least control the area around Roche, they might get the Roche. And so they have the idea about it. And you see, like, someone, like the TOPSON is pinging. Like, okay, Roche is about to respawn. They don't want to let enemies Roche. They want to get Roche to Bristleback because you cannot die to Doom. And if they commit Doom, then it's still going to be good because it's a trade Doom for ages. And after the Doom is spent, they cannot kill Bristleback anymore. So that's why they play around this area. They still check, keep checking. It's not up. So that's like when the randomness comes into the play. You might get lucky and you get the Roche, or you might get unlucky and the Roche might not be the case.
I'm surprised that at this point the Dire has a net worth lead, even though Radiant has more kills and more towers.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because they died here and they had to spend some buybacks as well. And it's all like, let's say if you die, you lose, you give gold to the enemies, you also give away the kill streak. And it's a lot of gold. You lose gold, enemies gain a lot of gold, and if you have to buyback as well, then you lose even more gold, and it all translates into advantage. And so, like, that's why this is the choke point. This is where you need to defend your base, and you need to figure out the best way to defend your base, and this is like the choke point. And it just keeps going from there. If you keep doing like some bad fights, and then it just keeps being bad for you. And it keeps snowballing like crazy. Also, one little play I'll show you right here. So you see that this guy just joined the stun again because of the Manta. He also has the BKB, but he prefers to just join it with the Manta instead. And then they just keep going, and they just keep seeing if they can keep committing on the enemies, like keep soft committing on them. And if they can, right, if all the time you're thinking if it's still like worth it to go on the enemy, is it still worth it to go on them? And then you see like Doom is dead, Ember got no BKB, even if he fights there, you have an advantage, and you see like all your heroes are there. And then you can make a decision, like, is it still worth it or not? Well, sadly he didn't have mana. That would have been a kill here on this Brave King, and he would die without buyback for 90 seconds. Which is your win condition. If people die without buyback, like, let's say you force the buyback, and then they die, and then you can easily do whatever you want. Like, you can go Roche, you have a decision, you can go Roche. You can go and push all of their barracks, or you can even go Throne if enemies cannot defend. Or you can force Throne by going slightly, hitting it, and then they see, oh, guys, they're going Throne, let's buyback to defend it, and then you go back. And they just look stupid because they committed buybacks for nothing. But this is good enough, good enough to do so.
I have one question. So let's say if all three of you have done all of their tier 2s, and you get to go, you get to attempt high ground. Is there a lane where it is better to attempt? So let's say all three of the tier 3s are at full health.
So basically, the easiest lanes to attempt the high ground are safe lanes. I guess for Radiant it doesn't really matter. I guess like side lanes in general, because on mid lane, first of all, this is like the shortest lane. This is the shortest lane because this is lane, like if you think about it as a triangle, right? With the yeah, so this is like the the addition of this two is like shorter than the this lane. So if you get the megas on this lane, it's a lot easier to outpush this. But if you get megas on this lane, this is a lot harder to outpush this because like more lanes go out and you always have to commit some hero on this lane. That's first of all. Second of all, if you stay here, enemies can only come at you from this side unless they're making a wraparound smoke. You know, smoke to the backs. But then you can also play around it, and let's say you can stay around here and place like one ward here, and if someone reveals, like let's say you have one hero staying around here, like hidden, then if they go from this side, then it's a lot harder for them to still go on you. Or if you stay around these trees right here, it's also a choke point. Let's say you have vision either here or here, then they can only go from like one side. You expect them to go from one side, right? And so it's a lot harder for them to defend this.
Okay.
Same thing here. You're on the side of the map. They cannot go from this side, right? They cannot commit from like the unplayable area. So you can expect them to go from either here or here or here. So if you, let's say for Dire, you might, for Radiant, you might just place a ward here and stay right here. And if they go on you, you'll be able to see it. Or you can just, again, keep staying in these trees and siege. Have a vision here. You have your strongest hero with pages. Siege the high ground. And you stay and wait for enemies to react. And if they react badly, you kill them. If not, you just take high ground. The Rex. Did I answer you the question?
Yeah.
And
you did.
I mean, and from mid, it's like, you know, you're staying, let's say, you're sieging mid. They can go from this side, 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 from this side. This is like, you're so unprotected. And this is like the, probably like, if you can take mid, this is like, if you take this tracks and mid, this is good. So yeah. And it's, the guy with Aegis should make them go on you. And if enemies have a very good tower defense, like let's say in one of your games with Tidehunter carry and Dawnbreaker, if you remember, like you tried to push this, they had Sanking and someone else. If Sanking is alive, like let's say these heroes have Sanking, and if you have heroes that can't be killed by the Sanking, you just don't go high ground. Just wait a bit. Just like you make them stay at their base, and like you place, let's say, one ward around here, so you see if they will leave the base, like that sees like this lane somewhere around here, right? Then you might as well just have one ward here, and then you like stay at the triangle, skip the lanes, and you maybe like if you have a ward here, you maybe have you can commit like one hero to here, because if the fight will happen like here, he cannot connect, so you might as well stay here. But it's easier to skip the lanes if you're staying under the triangle, because you know you can just go in here, get the wave, come here at the safe zone of yours, and kill the wave. Same thing here. Just take the wave, come here, kill this, and you're still in your safe zone. Here they go at the mid, I think, because this is like the shortest lane and they have like no tusk. And so Bristleback just goes in. But this is like, again, the harder lane to push. You should only do this if you have like a very big advantage. Like let's say Bristleback with Aegis is a decent advantage. And you see, the only hero that can tank shit is revealed in their base. Like, this guy is playing at enemy's face because he can tank a lot, and he can also, like, he is giving position to his teammates. Everyone else is staying at safe position, safe zone, right here.
Dyer's top barracks are under Dyer's top barracks has fallen.
And well, they see that Wraith King is bottom, right? And this guy says, okay, let's just get back for a bit, because Wraith King is there. They don't want to lose this Rax to Wraith King. They don't want to trade. They just go back. You see, like, as they're going back, this guy is ready to TP here and outpush the lane. And, like, this all happens simultaneously. If they stay here for too long, they just get caught by this smoke.
Yeah.
And they die, and everything is turned again. They have to wait for this here to respawn. And in late game, it's especially punishing to die, because your respawn time is very big. Yeah. See, this guy is caught, then 75 seconds, they have to play 4 versus 5. Especially if he doesn't have the buyback. You see, they're, like, they have to commit, they have to be very, very close to each other. But then again, they just, they're trying to make some pickoffs and plays meanwhile if they see that some other heroes are somewhere else. So let's say they see Ember is mid, they see that Witch Doctor, like, overstay his welcome. Yeah, he could for sure. But the thing is, it's still, like, kind of decent for them. Now they have a 60-second window to do something. But the logic for going on this lane, because if they go on this lane, the guy cannot take the Rax, and so they cannot, the Dire cannot commit the trade of Rax. And so if the Wraith King would go on top lane, first of all, he needs to get this tower, and second of all, like, it's a lot harder for him to take this tower, because, like, they can TP here, tower can outpush the lanes, and this is still a place to TP, and so it might make him a lot harder to perform the trade.
What is he even doing?
So yeah, this is like the ultimate power of defending wards and defending your objectives. Because if they wouldn't, then, you know, this is pretty bad. Because they have this guy showing on vision, and they see them, and they're in position to kill him. And when they kill him, they can do whatever they want. And in late game, this is like your ultimate goal: to catch heroes so they can buy back, and after that, like, kill them again, and they have no more buyback. And even if they buyback, you see, like, your advantage grows, and if you are forcing them too much, like this guy, like, you know, he buybacked, he has no ulti, no doom. What can he do? He cannot do much. Like, even Wraith King, like, they have no advantage. Like, even so, they caught this guy without buyback. You might suggest that heroes might not have buyback if they bought some big item, and in this case, I guess he bought refresher, right? So this guy just bought a refresher. It means he might not have a buyback, because he just bought it. And that's the same thing with the out of heroes. Like, this guy just bought Satanic, let's say, right? He just bought it. Means he might not have a buyback. Let's just keep going. That's just a little indicator for you. And if you catch people enough times without buybacks, then again, it's 4 versus 5. They had to fight here 4 versus 5. This Ember is dead, 4 versus 5. Alright. Does it make sense? Yep. Questions about this?
No.
So, let's just think about what we learned. Sorry, here. Let's make a little summary, and you tell me what you learned as well. So,
try to go for aim the guy with no buyback.
okay, in late game, Aim for heroes with no buybacks.